this is my competition right here. Look at the grass in the road. Look at the clumps in the yard. Look, that's my competition. All right, y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Tuesday. It's the 19th of August, and I'm caught up pretty much. I mean, I could go do some stuff that we got on the schedule for tomorrow, but I'd rather just wait. Cam's going to work tomorrow. I think he's going to end up doing homeschooling. So I don't know all the details. We'll find out next week around the 5th of September. So I got one of my customers that got real sick. He's an elderly gentleman, and well, they owe me money. He lives by himself, so I went to do the property the other day, and just like every other, Saturday or whatever, Friday, whatever day I did the property, I can't remember, man. So I did the property. I reached under the mat to get a check, and there wasn't no check there, and it's unusual that he wasn't home, and it's like that a lot of times, man. I don't want the customer to change their life just for the lawn guy, because if that's the case, then why hire a lawn guy if you got to change how you do things? If you're hiring a guy like me, the whole point of hiring somebody like me is not to have to worry about the property. So anyway, he's in the hospital, and and I hope he makes it. He has some kind of something going on. I don't know all the medical stuff, but when I got done over there, I reached under there to get the check, and it wasn't there. So I'm like, well, and he's been my customer for 6 years or so, something like that. And he's an upstanding guy. Sometimes he don't want to spend like he's supposed to, but he always, he always has, and he does. So I made a mental note I jotted it down on my list, and I'm like, okay, so I'll call him when I get done and see what's up, because I know we've been having some medical stuff, and I hate to sound cold or whatever, but I've had customers die and me never even get my money. Matter of fact, I've gotten beat out of more money that way than any other way, where they got real sick and they never could come back home, and then their people don't want to pay me, or they don't believe me, or whatever. I've had that happen a couple times, 4 or 5 times. So sometime over the weekend, I called him, and I called his number, and a lady answered, his girlfriend or whatever, and she's elderly too, and she says, Ray, he's real sick. They're not sure if he's going to pull through. He has some kind of growth on his brain, and he's probably not going to be back at the house until he goes through, until he's rehabilitated. He has to go to physical therapy and all that, because she said that he can't hardly talk, and his memory is selective, and all this. And she said all that'll come back, but if he can pull through. And they're not sure. He's 85, so they're not sure he's going to make it. He had surgery and everything, so I don't really know all the details. But it may sound cold, but if you're me, how do you guys deal with that? I'm gonna tell you how I deal with it. I try to be as comforting as I can, but I'm not cutting the grass for free because someone is sick or dies. I mean, you hate that, and you don't want you don't want no smoke. You just want to get your money, and they would want me to get paid. Like if he passes away, then I know that he wouldn't want to beat me, and he wouldn't want his kids to beat me. So, and I know that, and the yard is real important to him. Some people it's more important to than others. and it's a big property. And if they don't pay me, then I'm not going to want to do the property. And then all of a sudden they're going to call me after 2 months and talking about, hey Ray, and then see, yeah, and then it's going to be 10 times worse. See, the only reason I agreed to the money that me and him have a deal with is I got to be able to come every 2 weeks, no matter what. Got to. And if I can't come every 2 weeks, then I can't do the property for that number. I'm not going to want to do the property at all if I can't come every 2 weeks, because it's a big property. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with. And so the girlfriend gave me the number to the son. The son didn't answer, and the girlfriend gave me the number to the daughter, which lives up in Michigan. And so I called and talked to the daughter. And says, "Oh yeah, Ray, we're sorry. My brother's going to leave you a check, and he forgot, and And I'm not saying, and I'm sure that everybody upset about him being, deathly sick. And I get that. But I don't know how to. I've had to be a lot more diplomatic in the past, so I don't make nobody upset than they already are. Well, here the long guy is worried about his little $150, and my dad's dying. It's not a good place to be. So the sister, the daughter now said, Kathy over there, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, she said, Kathy's the one that referred you to us, back when I first started cutting Pop's grass. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kathy, blah, blah, blah. She said, so we're gonna give Kathy a check to take to work, and you can just stop by there and pick it up. Can you do that? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I'd rather do Venmo, Zelle, or whatever, and not have to do this. But it is a unique situation, and it ain't $20 or nothing. So let me go over here and get the 150 here, and see how it goes forward. I hope the old man comes through this, but you have to be, you can't take a hit. I mean, I'm not gonna miss a meal if I take a hit, but if it's bad business to take a hit, well, Ray, it's bad business to bother somebody that's on their deathbed too. I don't know what to say to that. That's might be, but I'm not trying to not get paid, and I'm not trying to do it 2 or 3 times without getting paid. They got to show me that they'll pay me before I keep doing it. I'm not going to do it again until I get paid. It's too much work and too big of a property and too far away from my house, and it costs me too much to do it. As I was doing the old man a favor, really, by doing it, for the $150. It's only like $75 an acre, and there's no weed eating or nothing, and it gives me the work on the bushes and all too. So let me pull up in here and grab that money, and I'm gonna pray that I get that money. Probably gonna get me a biscuit too, because they make their own sausage over here, and it's fire. I said fire. I'll tell you one thing. So I got the check, and they went on and paid for the next cut. So I like that. So that they just want to make sure it's taken care of, because they know if it gets way behind, that it'll cost a fortune to get it taken care of. So they want me to stay on schedule. So they pay for the one from Friday and then the next cut. So, but yeah, I used to eat up here every day. I call it a hole in the wall. And in some of my older videos, show me here a lot. And I miss their food. But my doctor said, you can't keep eating like that, man. So every now and then when I'm coming out this way, I'll get it. They make their own sausage. So, it's freaking awesome. So, damn, man, this looks too good. Okay, so I got, like I said, I got that money, and now I'm headed over to the dealer. I had to go back by the house, grab the lawn trailer, And we're gonna drop this mower off at the dealer, man. I'm not gonna keep fooling with it, man. Okay, y'all, so I'm looking at this mower, and I think that this ignition switch is bad. The dealer, they'll know, it's a Kawasaki engine, they'll know exactly what to do. And I know if I sat down with it long enough, I could probably figure it out, but then I might not. And then my thinking is, I don't want to spend the time on it. I don't want to spend any more time on it, only to have to take it to the dealer anyway. I kind of wish I hadn't even fooled with it at all, you know. And a lot of times that's what I'll do, you know, when I'm trying to figure out, okay, can I fix it or not? And, you know, getting it fixed at the dealer, it ain't about what it costs at the dealer. It's more about the downtime. And that's why I try to fix everything that I can. But when it starts getting into the electrical and all that, I've checked all the fuses on the mower and everything. Everything looks good. Yeah. And I got a backup mower, so we'll go on and let them. I know I need to replace the ignition switch, and I've already, you know, replaced the fuel pump. Probably wasn't even needed, but I didn't know that, you know. And see, yeah, so I've already spent $100 on figuring it out, and I still got to take it to the dealer. Now, it ain't gonna hurt to put a fuel pump on it, and it certainly ain't gonna hurt to put a battery on it. The battery was it was needing a battery, and a new ignition switch. It ain't gonna hurt to do that either. But there's something going on besides just that. Now I'm gonna tell you what the dealer told me. The mechanic told me over the phone. Is he said the dealer mechanic told me, he said that there's two red wires that go into the back, into the wiring harness that goes into the back, the plug-in that goes into the back of the ignition switch. Because the ignition switch is just a plug and play, you know, you just plug it in. And I changed out the ignition switch and it still got the same thing. So it tells me it's probably not the ignition switch. You know, y'all see, ignition switch that was on this mower, the one that don't run, it's on the other mower that does run, and it turns over every time. So then the dude said, there's two red wires that go into the back of it. He said they have been known, you know, to pull out. Now, yeah, I could have got up in the building, pulled my meter out, and figured all that and see if that was it. But then, you know, I still might have to take it to the dealer. And sometimes, you know, to me, you just got to weigh that. And only I know what is on the schedule for the week. So if I can't fix the mower today, then I won't have time to fool with it the rest of the week. I could take it to the dealer today, and they might have it ready by Monday. He said if it's what he thinks it is, it won't. He said he could have it ready by Saturday. So he said, you know, so that's kind of where I'm at with the mower, right? I fixed things that I feel like I can, but after spending all that time on it the other day and still got nowhere, I don't want to do that no more. I'm not gonna and waste another day fooling with it, you know. Even though I'm not losing any big money by fooling with it, as far as you know, as far as not being able to work, that's not the issue. You know, looking ahead a little bit in the future a little bit and seeing, okay, if you decide today, Ray, that you're gonna try to figure that machine out, and after all that time I spent on it the other day, and you can't figure it out, then you got to take it over to the dealer anyway. And I don't have time to take it to the dealer for the rest of this week. I don't. Not at all. So I got a yard out there close to the dealer that I do this weekend, and I'm hoping that today's Tuesday, they might be able, if it's an easy fix, he said they could get to it a lot quicker. And but he said if it's not, it'll at least be a week. So I got it all from what he told me over the phone. I got the damn, you know, the plate off where you can just pop it over and see all the electrical, you know, where the ignition switch is and all that, and the hour meter and blah blah blah. It's not even lighting up the hour meter, so there's no power getting up there. I don't know, and yeah, so we'll just let them figure that shit out, man. Yeah, I'm ready for this heat to die down, man. It's 85 degrees and it's, you know, 10 in the morning. It's hot out there already, and there ain't a cloud in the sky. When are we gonna get more rain? All right, y'all. Okay, y'all. So y'all not gonna believe it, man. I was this close to fixing it, man. Yeah. So what the dealer told me was wrong with it is actually wrong. Was what was wrong with it. He fixed it in 5 minutes. Now, I was fooling with it a little bit, you know, this morning. I wanted to make it easy for him in case because he told me over the phone, he said, man, if it's what I think it is, it's going to be a quick fix, like I was telling you guys earlier. So he put that, he pulled the red wires out of the back plug that goes into the ignition switch. There's a plug that's got about 6 wires on it, 8 wires. Yeah, I think after all the deduction, I think it's gonna be the ignition switch. And what I've done is I went out to to my shipping container over there, and I pulled the ignition switch out of that one. Now it's a Kohler engine, but I think the ignition switch is the same. I don't recall, and but either way, I'll buy a new ignition switch for that mower and this mower. Not a big deal. So I mean, I can't even get it to do anything. So I hope it's the switch. If it ain't, then but you see, figuring out what's wrong with stuff like this, that's why I just take it to the dealer, and then I don't have to worry my little brain about it. I can worry about just making money, which is what I'm good at, you know. So, I mean, I can do that, but you know, yes, I've done this before. Probably on every mower I got, except for the newest one. Not that bad in there. Let me get something to clean all this up. Damn right, it's so dirty in there. It's always like that, man. And 2 of them go into one spot for one of the prongs. There's 5. It's a 5 prong, so there's more than 5 wires, but some of them go into 2. And he said, "You see these 2 red wires?" He said, "These are the wires I was telling you about yesterday." And he pulled them out, and they were not connected. They broke off. And so, you know, and the mower has, 1,300 hours on it. And I had to pay for the ignition switch. He put a new ignition switch in. So, I mean, I can't believe it's fixed. I mean, it cranked right up as soon as he turned the key. When he plugged that thing in and flipped it back on, he didn't even try to start it. He just he knew that's what it was. And so I had to buy the ignition switch, but he spent about 5 minutes, man, and fixed it. I tried to give him something, man, but he's like, man, I'm good, man. I got the shit I gotta do, dude. Okay, y'all, headed to the dump, man. 12:45, so on the way back from the dump, I'll grab my Sammy or something. I ain't sure exactly what I'm gonna eat today. Get me a little cold sandwich, man. I ate so much junk yesterday. I don't normally eat. Cookie cake, freaking chocolate, cupcakes, just, dude, yeah. Glad I did not fill to the dump the other day, because if I had, he wouldn't have been able to offload it, because my dump trailer sits for months on end sometimes. It'll sit for a month, 6 weeks or so, and then I'll use it. And I don't like to keep a charger on it all the time. But when it sits, the battery will go dead. Oh, Ray, there's a trickle charger. Yeah, it's a trickle for sure. For sure. But this is going to be kind of expensive, man. I better make sure I got enough cash, man, because they only take cash. Better not be no more than $100, I'm thinking. Well, I did put some of my stuff on here too, so. All the grass is growing so fast, man. Yeah, so. Yeah. So I was dead on that, y'all. 105 bucks, man. This is what I like about this dump, is you go through, they got your vehicle weight already on file, and based on your tag number. So you just go through and you give them your tag number, and they look it up and they know how much you weigh, and they go on to deduct what you're supposed to weigh. And yeah. But just FYI, if you're new to the dump trailer game or whatever, it's super dangerous right here. When you lift up a load, right, and it gets up to, to pitching point where it starts to counter the weight, all this stuff comes up. And if it's not latched down, or if it's half-ass latched down, or if you ain't got the right size ball or anything like that, it'll come off of there and it'll hurt you. It could kill you. Also, if you got a lot of weight on here, I've had to pick up the back of the truck, take the back tires off. That's why I don't never recommend using a dump trailer with a two-wheel drive, because if you get hung up somewhere and the back's off the damn ground, you can't move the truck. You can let it back down. You'll have to be letting it back down and back up and all that. So, but it's real dangerous, right, standing in this area right here while it's going up or coming down. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Y'all know I'm such a safety guy. So yeah. So now I've already paid them, right? So yeah. But I've already paid them, so now I just pull up out of here all the way out. But I've gotten my truck, not this truck and not any four-wheel drive truck, but I gotten I had the two-wheel drive F254 for 10 years, and wasn't nearly as nice as this truck. You build up to that kind of thing, but you got to have equipment like this to be able to do that, and you think you know everything, Ray. Well, that's just it. I've done a lot of knucklehead shit out here, trying to survive and trying to make it, and trying to, I just try to share the little things that come up that I see that I didn't know when I got a dump trailer. That's all. And in anything else that I do, I've had a lot of trials and tribulations in my illustrious landscape career. And if I'm going to do a YouTube channel, then I certainly want to tell you guys some of the stuff that I went through to where you don't get hurt and you can make money. And not that I know everything, but most of the stuff, everything I talk about on the channel, and if I'm giving any kind of semi-advice, it's usually because I've experienced it. I don't give advice about things or give tips about things I don't know nothing about, like a lot of guys do on YouTube. I don't do that. Everything that I tell you guys, whether it's in a tip format or advice format, however you want to look at it, everything that I tell you guys is the reason I'm telling you is because I've experienced the bad part of whatever I'm talking about. So I'm trying to tell you not to do that. Standing behind that trailer like that almost got me killed. because it wasn't latched down all the way, and I had rock on there, and that sucker popped up. And if I hadn't had the safety chains on, I don't know what would have happened. It could only go up so high. You know, the safety chains sometimes are, you know, they get weak from getting dragged on the ground and all that. So, and we're talking about a lot of weight, man. We're not talking about 100 pounds. We're talking about 2 or 3 tons popping up like that, picking up the whole rear end of the truck, man. So, but yeah, I got to get home, man. My wife's taking the dog to the vet, and I got to give her my card. So it's gonna cost some money, probably $300 or so. She paid last time, so I got to pay this time. Okay, let me order me a sandwich.